If you're seeing this video, it means we hit 400 and we're celebrating with my all-time favorite ghost story. And this is something I saw as a kid, and it changed how I saw stories forever and also the paranormal. So it was, I think, the old show Fact or Fiction, and it was basically they would tell you three scary stories from what I remember, and two were fact and one was fiction. And the whole point was by the end you had to have a guess which ones were fact and which one was fiction. And this story was a fact. Which made it so much more frightening, but also I love how it's kind of like a happy ending in a very eerie and spooky kind of way. But I don't want to give too much away. So this is something that it was a fact on the show. So I don't know how much research they did, but I think probably a lot for production. And this is gonna be the my all-time favorite ghost story, and it gives me chills usually when I tell it. So if you stick around till the end, I'll tell you a little bit about a call for collaborations. But if you were here, I just want to say thank you so much for this view. Thank you so much for sharing this space with me. I got a lantern out. And actually, I know I look well lit, but it's dark all here, so I can only see the screen and a ring light, and I can't really see anything beyond it. So I'm lit, but actually nothing in the room is lit, except for like I see my keyboard and my mic over here. So. Let's get into it. There was a woman who lived in a house with her husband, and there was a mirror at the top of the steps. And one day, when she was doing laundry and putting it away, she looked in the mirror and she saw a woman's face, and she was muddy and beaten, and she was terrified. Terrified. She called her husband, and her husband looked in the mirror and he said he saw nothing. And that it was just her imagination. But every time she looked in the mirror, she saw this woman who was beaten and bloody. And she kept seeing her every time she passed the mirror. At first, she started to avoid the mirror and avoid taking the longer way past the stairs, and she did her best to try to avoid it. No one else saw what she saw in the mirror, but she saw this woman every single time she looked in that mirror. Eventually, it got to the point where she had to put something over the mirror so that she didn't have to avoid the top of the stairway, and that she didn't have to keep looking at this image. So she covered the mirror. Things went back to normal, and she just lived life without the mirror. Her husband went away for a trip, and she was in the house alone one night. And when she was alone, she went up the stairs and noticed that the cover that she had on the mirror was gone. And then she heard the dark dogs barking. What happened next? Sorry, I just heard something and it freaked me out. I don't know if you heard that. But what happened next was she was by the stairs and she went to go and cover the mirror. And behind her was an intruder. And he grabbed her from behind, and she looked in the mirror, right in front of the mirror, and he looked in the mirror, and he got so scared that he backed up and fell down the stairs to his death. And the next day in the newspaper, she saw a picture of the woman who was in the mirror, and it was the person he had murdered the night before. And she never saw anyone in that mirror ever again. So now that I'm spooked, I just wanted to share that. It was a long time ago that I heard it, and I've probably told this so many times. It's my favorite ghost story. Um, and I'd love to like research that more. But I kind of love that it was a little bit of a happy ending because she was saved, even though it was like very eerie in general. And I didn't think I was gonna make it through that telling that story because when I heard something, I was like, I was so close to to just turning this off because it is so dark in here. If you could see like how how dark it is, it's so frightening. But anyway, thank you so much for being here with me. And I don't know. I don't know if you jumped when you heard something. I'm sure the mic picked it up because it is such a good mic. So I don't know what that was, but that was spooky. Yeah, so thanks for sticking around. And the call for action here specifically, it's a call for collaboration. I want to hear your real life stories. If you have a real life story, please send it in. You can message me. I'm gonna put together a Google form where you can send in your story, and I just really am so excited about possibly doing a drop of real life stories. And, it was the real life stories that have stuck with me, and that ghost story is one that always gives me chills and now has frightened me again. So I don't know how I'm gonna go to sleep tonight, but I'm probably gonna watch a movie before bed. And thank you so much. Yeah, so DM me on Instagram and I'll put in the description the link to a Google form for you to send in a real life story. If you have a friend who has a story, please ask them to send it in. Send it to anyone you know. And I want to thank you so much for being here. Thank you for that 400. We'll plan something special for 500. And I am just so wowed and shocked and grateful, and it means the world to me. I love all of you so much. This has meant so much more than I can even put into words, and I am just so grateful to be here in this time of existence and honored to be here while you're here, and thank you. Um, I all I can say is thank you so much. I can't wait to hear your stories, and I would love to collaborate. Please message me if you don't have a story, but you just want to give me some feedback on the channel or anything. If you enjoy it, you can comment. If you enjoy it, you can message me. Thank you so much. My best platform to receive DMs is Instagram at Katie with two E's and Moran with two N's. Thank you so much. Have a good night.